Xiaomi has had a good opening to 2019 in China and in some ways in India too. But today, let's turn the clock back and take a look at 6 of Xiaomi India's biggest mistakes that they are still paying the price for. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and let's get started. If you do end up liking this video, please don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Now before we start, it's not like Xiaomi's only made mistakes. So would you want to see a follow-up video on things they've absolutely gotten right, absolutely nailed? Also, if I do miss out on any of Xiaomi's major mistakes, let me know in the comments below. Now Xiaomi's first mistake, that's got to be the timing of their entry into India. They came in months after their Mi 3 launched in China, so by the time they got to India, they were able to price that phone cheaper than they could have had they come in at launch. So guys, this is how it works. When a phone launches, the profit margin is less. As through the life cycle of the phone, the profit margin increases. So coming in at close to end of the life cycle of the Mi 3, they were able to bring it to India at 14,000, a price that was close to the Moto G, which had a Snapdragon 400. Here the Mi 3 that Xiaomi was offering was amazing. It had a Snapdragon 800, a 13 megapixel camera, a 5-inch Full HD display, all for just 14,000 rupees. Now this caused some kind of unreal expectations with the consumers. So when Xiaomi's Mi 4 came out, it came out in India closer to the Chinese launch, so they couldn't afford to price it at 14 or 15,000 rupees, and they had to price it closer to 20,000 rupees, and people did not like it. You can't blame the people for it. There were certain expectations set. Now this brings us to number 2 on our list, limited options. The Mi 4 initially was available only with 16 gigs of storage, only in white, and given it was a 3G phone in a country that was fast adopting 4G and without micro SD and available again, like I said, only in white and 16 gig options, at least initially, this made the consumers feel like Xiaomi was dumping unsold stocks in India. And Xiaomi's response to it? Launched just the base 32 gig variant of the Mi 5, which had an underclock chip. I mean, how did they not get it? Now, third on our list, this is probably the one that annoyed me the most. Now, after seeing the failure of the Mi 4, Xiaomi decided that's only because Indians want cheap phones. India is not gonna pay higher. And they ended up launching a Mi 4i, which they called as a flagship for India. It came with that 615 chip, which had all that overheating issues. Now forget the overheating issues. Today, if a brand launched a phone with 636 and said that's a flagship for India. Now if Samsung launched a Galaxy S10i with a 636 chip and called it a flagship for India, I mean, wouldn't people be pissed? That's what happened with the Mi 4i, and that was aggravated even more because of the heating issues that the 615 brought with it. Now yes, India is price sensitive, but if a brand listens to what the consumers want, the prices can be increased. Now look at the evolution of OnePlus. Now forget OnePlus, look at every other brand around. See the change in the last 5 years. 5 years back, look at a brand like Samsung and Apple. They take their own sweet time bringing the flagships to India. Apple a lot more than Samsung, but today you can see these brands are rushing to bring their flagships to India. It's not just Samsung and Apple. Look at any other brand. Oppo, Vivo with, for example, the Nex, Asus with the ROG phone, Huawei with their Mate 20 Pro. Circling back to OnePlus, they're a brand who sell almost every variant in India, including some special editions which aren't even sold in the United States. That's the kind of importance all these brands are giving to India because they realize maybe the flagship phones will not sell as well as a budget phone, but these are the phones that inspire loyalty. These are the phones that create actual fans. Phones where they can provide something that the competition doesn't and create a trust and a loyalty factor with the audience. Now it's not like Xiaomi doesn't have phones like this, the Mi 6, the Mi 8, the Mi 8 Explorer Edition, the Mi Mix 3. These have all been phenomenal phones. I really loved using them. But to the Indian audience, Xiaomi remains only as Redmi because none of these phones have seen light of day in India. Number 5, this one didn't really start out as a mistake, but at this point it kind of looks like it is. Xiaomi's focus on offline. Now India is a country where even after all this internet penetration, after Jio and everything, 70% of smartphone sales still happen offline. Now offline has its own costs, which I've explained in a different video, a card to it here. Now Xiaomi, wanting a piece of this offline pie, have started to sell more and more of their models offline. I mean, this means their models have kept getting lesser and lesser competitive. Now just to drive home the point, go back a couple of years, you'd see a brand like Asus selling a Snapdragon 625 phone at 28,000 rupees. Xiaomi, on the other hand, had a Snapdragon 625 at 11,000-12,000 rupees. Now, fast forward to today, Asus has a Snapdragon 660 at 13,000 rupees, whereas Xiaomi in that segment only has a Snapdragon 636. Other brands like Honor and Realme have exhibited a real hunger to succeed in this segment, and that has kind of led to Xiaomi hitting the panic button. This means they've just been releasing more and more phones, kind of going down the Samsung route of throw a lot of things at the wall and hope something sticks. Now let's say you wanted to buy a Redmi phone at around 12,000 rupees. Do you know how many options you have? I mean, just let me know. Just type the number of options you think you have in the comments below. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you. The 464 Redmi Note 5 Pro at 12K. 1K lower, you've got the 464 Redmi Y2, the 464 Redmi 6 Pro. 1K higher, you have the Redmi Note 6 Pro 464, and the Mi A2 464 follows close behind. It's a convoluted and confusing lineup, a direct result of the increased competition Xiaomi's been facing. And this led to another mistake. This one's a biggie. At number 6, you've got Xiaomi's ad issues. Now, you know how Xiaomi seems to perceive India as a very price-conscious market. Now, to keep costs low, they started an aggressive monetization of their interface. And their justifications have just been weird. I mean, I've actually heard Xiaomi people say, app log that we provide is a service, so what's wrong with us throwing ads on it? Now, that's just a very, very weird explanation. It's borderline stupid. But they could have gotten away with it if they hadn't gotten greedy. They got greedy enough to the point where Xiaomi started testing out ads in the settings menu. Now, this was a big no-no. You monetize some feature or the other, maybe people would have taken it, but you monetize the user interface. Now, you've got bloggers, YouTubers, you've got the regular day-to-day consumers going on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, bashing Xiaomi for it, and Xiaomi backed down. They removed that. That wasn't happening anymore. But this meant there was so much negativity surrounding Xiaomi's ads that people started posting screenshots of every ad they saw on Xiaomi. There was so much negativity being spread. The damage was done. You couldn't go back in time and fix it. Xiaomi's greed had kind of, I wouldn't even actually call it greed. It was just the willingness, the wanting to have their cake and eat it too, wanting to go offline and still manage to have a phone that was competitively priced online. It was just this that kind of led to all this negativity. And this meant that brands like Nokia and Asus with their clean stock interfaces have started to leach into Xiaomi's market share. Now, this video is titled 6 Biggest Mistakes Xiaomi India is Still Paying For, but here are a couple of bonus ones, freebies, flash sales and delays in releasing kernel sources. Now, both of these are being addressed by Xiaomi, so they didn't really get onto this list per se, but I still feel they're worth mentioning. Now, all that said, it is not like Xiaomi India sucks and they have no clue as to what they're doing. They've been doing some things very well, but that is a different video in itself. Is that something you'd be interested in watching? If you've not, let me know already, since I did ask this question at the start of this video. Do let me know now. Head on over to the comments. And with that, we are at this journey's end. Loved the video, hated it, thumbs up, thumbs down to reflect what you feel. Share this video with friends and family if you can. Also subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. So, is there any other mistake I missed out on? Again, comments below. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.